The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, coming to you live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com. And our two websites, www.xzoneradio.com. And to listen, to watch, and to chat with the X-Zone Nation, go to www.xzonetv.com. Oprah went on a 3-week vegan crash diet this month. Jennifer Aniston, Drew Barrymore, and Cameron Diaz admit to smoking to keep their appetites down. Beyonce Knowles confesses to living on water, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup to drop 20 pounds. Popular TV shows like The Biggest Loser or Celebrity Fit Club push overweight reality stars to risk injury in order to drop pounds. Now, don't look at these celebrities and think that you need to do something dangerous or hire an expensive personal trainer to lose weight, says our next guest, Dr. Marc Paulsen, MD, and author of the new book, Dump Your Trainer. Dr. Paulsen is on a mission to empower North Americans to be their own personal trainers and to eat smart enough to reach realistic fitness goals. And Dr. Paulsen, welcome to the X-Zone.
Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. Why shouldn't we follow Oprah on her path to fitness?
Well, you know, Oprah's been on many paths, and doesn't seem to have led her very far at all. She did have some short-term success with the Best Life diet, and I guess she's been on the U diet, and now she's on the vegan cleanse. But you know, these are all short-term plans, and I don't see any long-term success.
No. The same can be said for many other diets. In fact, that's how I would best describe the Atkins diet that I went on. Hey, sure, I lost weight very fast, but you know what? I gained it as fast as I lost it.
That's right. That's why you know, people have to, when they approach a weight loss program, they have to approach it as a life commitment or a lifestyle change, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm going to lose some weight" or whatever. What they have to do is they have to develop a program that, you know, that they're going to be able to live with, and it's going to become an essential component of their lifetime.
Why don't shows like The Biggest Loser or Celebrity Fit Club, do they really promote fitness?
Oh, these are horrible examples. You know, I mean, when I see, I watched an episode. I forced myself to watch an episode of The Biggest Loser, and when I see massively obese people jogging at full gallop, when I see them jumping on trampolines with already injured limbs, and then I see them punching heavy bags that a pro boxer would have trouble with, I say, wait a minute, we're sending the wrong message here, okay? These people are going to injure themselves, and these injuries are going to be sustained, and they're going to be permanent, and they're going to come back to haunt these people. And they may achieve some short-term weight loss, but these injuries later on are going to make it much more difficult for them to maintain that.
Dr. Paulsen, please stand by. You and I have to take a 2-minute commercial break. X-Zone Nation, Dr. Marc Paulsen is our special guest. He's the author of a new book entitled Dump Your Trainer. And that's the name of his website, dropyourtrainer between the eyes, dropyourtrainer.com. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, right here live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone TV, and shortwave from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Dop your trainer. I'll be right back.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits, and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, or psychic phenomenon? Join me, Tim Bartley, co-host of Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, coming mid-January 2017 to the XZBN. We will channel spirits live and talk to them, revealing all kinds of amazing information. Spiritual attachments will be found and removed on the show, and so much more. To find out when you can listen to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, visit www.xzbn.net for listeners on both sides of the veil.
Dr. Marc Paulsen's our very special guest this hour. 62% of American adults and 34% of American children are overweight. Health aspects aside, many of these pudgy people would prefer to look slimmer, sexier, and leaner. But as these overweight Americans look to those who look best among us, you know, Dr. Paulson, myself included there, as well as the other celebrities in life, the image that they're seeing is not one of a healthy form of weight loss. They're trying to emulate bodies sculpted by fad diets, extreme surgery, and personal trainers who are paid hundreds of dollars an hour. And this is a quote from our guest. You don't need to eat anything but healthy, normal meals to lose weight. And you certainly don't need a personal trainer to count to 10 for you. Dr. Paulson says there are good fitness trainers out there, but because most charge by the hour, many unscrupulous ones will actually try to keep you fat so they can keep you as a client. Dr. Marc Paulsen, MD, is a graduate of Stanford University Medical School. He received his training at the University of California, Irvine Medical Center, as well as coursework in epidemiology through the Division of Public Health at the Medical College of Wisconsin. His practice has included emergency medicine, occupational medicine, and general family medicine. He is a member of the American Academy of Sports Medicine and a former medical director of Exercise Science Lab at Orange Coast College in California. The name of his book is, you ready, guys? Got your pencils and papers? That's it. Drop Your Trainer. And it's his first book on fitness. And, doctor, 62% of adults, 34% of children are overweight in this country. Wouldn't a personal trainer be a gift to them, or should we use masking tape on their mouth?
Well, I don't think it would be a especially good gift to you. I just want to make one comment. It is dump your trainer.
What did I say?
Drop your trainer. It's okay. Dumpyourtrainer.com.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Dumpyourtrainer.com.
Anyway, no, it wouldn't be a good gift. It would be a waste of time, and it would be a waste of money.
When you look at the youth of today, is it also due to the fact that, number one, they eat crap? A lot of this fast snack food that they eat is just full of everything that is wrong for them, and they sit in front of computers instead of going outside and playing baseball like we used to.
Well, this is a very complex issue, and it probably goes beyond the limits of my book. But the problem really starts way in advance of even birth. Okay, the problem goes back to how the mothers are nursing. Okay, how they're eating while they're during their pregnancy. Mm-hmm. The accumulation of the total number of fat cells that are produced in a child. At birth, and which are accelerated under the wrong diet shortly after birth. Now, the body can add fat cells, almost into adolescence, and by adding more and more fat cells, the person is put at a disadvantage. So this is a very complicated issue. Now, once you have all those cells are hungry. They want to be fed, and They want to be fed fat. And reversing that is a very, very tough thing to do because they're screaming, "I'm hungry." All those billions of extra cells are screaming, "Feed me." So this goes way back.
So it's just not a matter of eating the wrong food. It's not the matter of not doing any exercise. It's actually because of a number of other...
Oh, a lot of factors going, yeah. But absolutely, when you start feeding your body, feeding your body and those fat cells all the wrong food and giving them exactly what they want, what they're screaming for, okay, basically you are, you are contributing to your own demise.
I remember when I was going to school, there weren't any vending machines, and pop was not allowed on the school property. But now they have vending machines with pop and diet pop in the school cafeterias. That's
right. The American diet, actually is what's spread well beyond the Americas now. But in fact, as I just found out, the Australians are leading the Americans now in obesity.
Wow.
And yes, we absolutely are feeding ourselves the wrong foods.
There goes that song, "Tie Me Kangaroo Down." They're just going to fall on them now, and that'll keep them down. When's the best time to exercise, Doctor?
Well, in my opinion, the best time to exercise is the first thing in the morning.
Why is that, sir?
The reason is real simple, okay? We all live complicated lives, and we never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. We have, very complex, we have to take care of the kids, or we have a job that's very stressful or whatever. Okay, during the course of the day, there are going to be a multiple number of reasons why we're going to convince ourselves, I don't have the time to exercise today. Okay, by getting your exercise in the very first thing in the morning, you eliminate that possibility.
I see. Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. It worked for me.
And what kind of exercise do you suggest? Do you, for example, treadmills? Do you suggest going out for brisk walks? Do you suggest the high, what's it called, the cardio workouts?
Yeah, in Dump Your Trainer, we actually have different schedules and different programs for different people, depending upon where they stand when they start out with the program, and where they happen to be along the path. Okay, so for instance, take a massively obese person. Well, on The Biggest Loser, they've got them running around jogging at full gallop. Okay, well, that's like a horrendous thing to do.
Isn't that just begging for a heart attack to happen?
Heart attack, they're going to injure their joints, their spine, their ligaments, and risk a heart attack. I mean, a whole multitude of potential problems there. Okay, yeah. Now. In this particular case, of course, they have to, see their doctor and see what other limitations they have or whatever. But this person might want to start out on a semi-recumbent bike, okay? And we advise this in the book. Okay, you're this number of pounds overweight. Mm-hmm. This is your condition. We give you a self-assessment program that you can, assess where you are, and then you can fit yourself into a particular program where you're best suited.
What was your inspiration for writing your book, sir?
Well, I was overweight myself. I was up about 60 pounds, and I'm facing just a horrendous schedule. Mm-hmm. And so when I designed the program, I really didn't have any idea of writing a book or anything like that. I just said, okay, what can I do that's best for me? And that was my inspiration. Now, in terms of writing the book, after I lost my weight and I had sustained the weight loss for a number of years, I was in the gym and I saw this a very overweight guy walking around with a personal trainer. And month after month, I would see this guy walking around with this trainer, and he was diligent. He always came religiously. But month after month, he only got fatter. And then one day, I heard him over by the scale. I happened to be standing there by the scale when he was getting weight. And he was disappointed that he hadn't lost any weight. And the trainer turned to him and he said, "Don't worry about it. Muscle weighs more than fat."
Oh, brother.
And I said, at that minute, I need to write this book.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, speaking about the hectic life that we live, how does stress affect our body as far as fat is concerned?
Well, I mean, every day the science changes, and when you pin a doctor down on a particular subject like that, he'll give you an answer one day, and then the next day he'll have to give you something totally different. Okay, so we're not fully sure of whether stress is, on the balance, actually good for you or bad for you. Okay, we know that stress has certain beneficial qualities, for the body. The body is, we've adapted to stress, and in fact, stress keeps us motivated. On the other hand, certain types of stress can cause inflammatory reactions in the body that can be very destructive and negative. So, on the balance, I guess it would have to come down to the individual and whether or not they are inordinately stressed or not, and how they deal with that stress. And that's probably even more important, how they deal with the stress that they face on a daily basis.
If diets and personal trainers are not good, how is a person supposed to lose weight then?
Well, I would advise them, of course, to follow the program in the Dump Your Trainer book. But basically what they have to do is that they have to take, and when I say diet, I'm not talking about a short-term thing. I'm talking about a good, lifelong eating habit, okay? Mm-hmm. They have to get a good diet and exercise program and integrate it into their daily lives. That's what they need to do. And they cannot take a short-term perspective on this. They have to take a long-term. They have to think, this is the way I'm going to live for my entire life, and I'm going to be healthier because of it.
All right, Doctor, please stand by. You and I have to take a commercial break with the news at the bottom of the hour. We will be back. Dr. Marc Paulsen is our very special guest. www.dumpyourtrainer.com is his website. If you'd like to give us a call, 1-877-528-8255. That's toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii at 1-877-528-8255. Still to come on tonight's show, Exo Nation, Eric Altman is going to be joining me in the next hour. We're going to be talking about that $1 million reward that is going out for proof of Bigfoot via photograph. And then we'll also be speaking to L.A. Marzulli. He takes a spin on the daily news, looking at it through the eyes of politics, prophecy, and the paranormal. That's tonight here on the X Zone, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
There's a guy from Hamilton, David Wilcox, Bad Apple. 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My name is Rob McConnell, and this portion of the X-Zone is being brought to you by Amira Soul Mystic. She's a master clairvoyant healer and spiritual teacher, and she's internationally acclaimed, and she has a client base that is worldwide. She has guided thousands of people worldwide open, heal, and move forward on their life path. She's planning a trip to Sacred Egypt in November of 2008. X-Zone Nation, if you'd be interested in finding out more details on how you can go to this land of magic, mystery, and when Amir was on the show with us last Friday, she was talking about it, and it seems like a fascinating trip. So if you'd like more information, 1-800-659-6796. That's 1-800-659-6796, or visit her online at www.soulmystic.com. Dr. Marc Paulsen's our very special guest. And Mark, I've got a question for you from one of our listeners. They'd like to. They work night shifts, and they find that they get the munchies at night. And they'd like to know if there's something that they can do to stop the munchies and from stop eating at night, because isn't it bad for you, or it's harder on your digestive system when you eat before you go to bed?
Well, there's in terms of that last point, there's a lot of controversy as to whether that's really true about eating before you go to bed at night. It's bad or good. In the book, we recommend trying to cut off your eating habit, your eating before you go to bed. I don't know, maybe a couple hours if possible. Otherwise, eat something very sensible. Now, yes, stopping the munchies is really essential, and that's not just for people at night, but for people in the daytime too. Okay, again, this goes back to the essential point of the book. Okay, basically you have to take a look at your lifestyle. Okay, take a close look at your lifestyle and realize what the complications, what the problems are, and design a solution to them. Now, say, for instance, a person's going through the day, and I didn't work at night, but let me use this example for myself. This was during the day, but the same thing can happen at night, okay? Okay, so I'm going through the day, and I hit, I start work at 6:30 in the morning, and I get off work at about 6 o'clock at night, and I don't get home to 8:30, okay? About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm getting hungry. And I know that there's no way in the world that if I go home and eat, that I'm going to go and work out afterwards. Okay, I just know that's not going to happen. After I eat, I'm over. I'm in front of the TV and going nowhere. Yeah. So what you need to do is plan for this. You need to understand this is what you're faced with, and you need to deal with it. So what I did was I made sure that at 4 o'clock I always had myself an easily edible snack of some sort. whether it was a protein shake. In the book, we recommend protein shakes, but it could be, it could be basically a mini meal. Okay. And this would get me through not only to the time in which I get home, 8:30 at night, but it would also I wouldn't be starving anymore. So I would actually head out to the gym and I'd get a little workout, or I'd go for a jog or something like that. So that's in addition to my morning workout, I've gone and I've gotten some extra workout as well, and I didn't pig out. And this is what you have to do. You have to say, okay, this is what this is what I'm faced with. I need to solve it. And we try to give everybody the tools that they need to plot out this course in the book, of course.
All right. How important is portion control?
Well, the formula is really simple, okay? In order to lose weight, okay, the calories consumed have to be less than the calories expended. And if you are eating large portions of food, okay,
right,
you obviously stand no chance whatsoever of losing weight unless you can exercise so much that your exercise has burned off more calories than you just consumed. And most people can't do that. So yes, absolutely, you have to portion out your meals, and you also have to stagger out your meals. Like I said in the last example, you have to place your meals in your schedule so that you're never really tempted to go pig out.
All right. You lost 60 pounds, and you've kept it off for 9 years. How?
Right. Well, like I said, this is how I developed the program. Basically, I looked at my life. I said, God, I've got a horrendous schedule here, and I know what I'm doing. I'm going home. I'm going to work. I'm getting home. I'm pigging out, and I'm passing out in front of the TV or whatever, or at least, couch potatoing it out in front of the TV, and I'm gaining weight. Okay? So basically, I said, okay, I'm going to integrate a program that deals with that. So I started out. I got up a little bit earlier in the morning because I knew that there's no way in the world that I can assure myself of getting my exercise unless I do it the first thing in the morning. And that's what I did. And then I did the portion control and the staggered meals during the course of the day. Got home at night, okay, and had found that I had the energy to go out and get some more exercise in. At night, I tended to work on less aerobics and more on the resistive exercise, the strengthening exercises. And it was easy because I only had to allocate 20 minutes or so to that. Okay?
How about swimming? Is swimming good exercise?
Absolutely, but I would not, unless you're a great swimmer and you have a history of swimming, I would not use swimming as your primary aerobic exercise.
Really?
No. I wouldn't, because most people don't have that kind of endurance. I would say, and swimming is a great adjunct to an exercise program, and people, because people try swimming, they say, okay, I'm going to swim, for my exercise, my aerobic exercise. And they go out there and they swim and they finish 2 laps and they're exhausted and they say, gee, this isn't working for me. Well, if they added that on to an aerobic, say they got on the exercise bike or the treadmill, which is my preference is the treadmill. Say they did 40 minutes on the treadmill or 30 minutes on the treadmill, and then they went and they did 1 lap in the pool, and then the next day they did the same thing, but they did 2 laps in the pool, and a week later they did 3 laps in the pool. Now you're talking about a great program.
So. Is it true, Doctor, that in some cases it's best, most people who get into the exercise frame of mind to lose weight, they overdo it?
We see that at the gym, everybody sees. I mean, you see these people come in, and I'll use the gym as an example,
sure.
But you can extrapolate to any place. They come in and they're going to lose it all at once. Okay. They come in and they get on the treadmill and they just go like crazy and they're dripping sweat and whatever. The only problem is you don't see them the night afterwards. You don't see them a week later. What happened to them? Well, they burnt themselves out. They might have even hurt themselves. Okay, and they missed the most important point about consistently losing exercise, and that's consistency.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose it all at once. You have to be consistent. It has to become an essential part of your life.
it's better to start off slow and work your way up
Absolutely.
instead of starting
Absolutely.
midway and then just failing.
That's right, absolutely. And remember, this is a lifetime process. We're not on a diet program here, a short-term diet program to lose weight. We're going to lose weight, okay, and we're going to lose it pretty fast. But we're looking to keep it off for a lifetime. I lost 60 pounds, almost 60 pounds, and I've kept it off for over 9 years.
Wow.
And I plan on keeping it off for the rest of my life.
Is it easier for a man to lose weight or a woman?
You know, that's a really tough question. That's one that's disputed. And it's a complicated one, too, because you have the hormonal issues and everything else.
The different metabolic systems as well.
Right, different cycles, everything. But I can tell you, I got an email from a customer of somebody bought the book a week ago, and it was a woman. By
the way, your book is sold out on Amazon right now.
Oh, it's sold out?
Sold out. I checked.
Oh, God. Well, we're up at Barnes & Noble and Borders, and it'll soon be back in Amazon as well. In any case, she calls in and she said, she emails us and she says she had a question about one of the food substances we had in our book, and she wrote, but in the email she said, I've been on the program 5 days now and I've already lost 5 pounds, and I was astounded because when I did the program, I was only losing a half a pound a day. Okay, so here's a woman who's doing twice as good as I did. Okay, and I was happy at a half a pound a day. So is there a difference? I don't know. I think you leave that to the scientists, and you just go about your program.
How about sugar supplements? Do you need to cut sugar out of your diet, or is it just a matter of monitoring the amount of sugar you use instead of using the artificial sweeteners such as aspartame?
Yeah, You have to keep calories in mind. I didn't count calories, although Ashley, my co-author, absolutely believes that you have to count calories. So, everybody's going to have a slightly different approach. I believe that if you eat healthy food that are low in fat and low in calories, then you don't really have to worry about that issue. I have practically no added sugar or anything, and I don't miss it. And I just think that, if you're consuming sugar, simple sugars, okay, you should try to wean them down as much as possible, and you should avoid as much artificial ingredients as you can.
Why is it when you go on a diet, and maybe this is just me, I would crave spaghetti? I'm serious. I would crave spaghetti. The only thing I could put it to is a woman who is going to have a child who has a craving.
I think that if you were staggering your eating program over time, you wouldn't get those cravings. Remember, that's what you want to do. You want to avoid cravings. Okay. Now, if you had some spaghetti every once in a while, I don't have a problem with that.
Really?
Okay, I'd rather you used whole wheat spaghetti, and things of this sort. But I don't have a problem with that. There's nothing really bad about that. But again, what you want to do is avoid the cravings, because the cravings are what's that's what's going to do you in, and you can avoid them by mixing up a quick protein smoothie or something like that, or having a couple bananas somewhere in between your meals or whatever, and then you won't get those cravings.
1-877-528-8255 is our toll-free number. Our very special guest this hour is Dr. Marc Paulsen, and the name of his book is Dump Your Trainer. Has anybody given you any flack about the name of your book?
Oh, we get flack all the time. Ashley mostly gets the flack. I don't have any problem with it. Ashley is a certified personal trainer, but she's also a group fitness instructor as well as a professional dancer. And she knows basically that when it comes to weight, and we're not knocking trainers, okay? I personally wouldn't use them, and I think they're a waste of money, but what we're knocking, what we're opposed to is this media hype fad of personal training for weight loss, okay? That's where we think is a waste, okay? And a lot of legitimate trainers also share our our views. So in fact, we've been on shows in which they had an opposing personal trainer who was supposed to give us a lot of grief, but ended up coming onto our side.
How about all these different diet pills that are out there? For example, there's one called Relicore that's supposed to take the fat off the stomach that is caused by stress.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I say none of those things are necessary. The other thing, the other one that Ally.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a horrible choice. I just don't. Anybody who's thinking of going that way, okay, are just they need to rethink their plan.
So I guess to sum up, there is no such thing as a quick fix.
Well, it's pretty quick. Again, 5 pounds in 5 days is not a bad start.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I had a friend who lost 114 pounds. Yeah, he got divorced. Stand by, Doctor. You and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break. Dr. Marc Paulsen is our special guest. www.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
19 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I have learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today. www.soulbalancing.world.
One 877-528-8255. Toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My name is Rob McConnell. Our very special guest this hour, Dr. Marc Paulsen. His website is www.dumpyourtrainer.com. Dr. Paulsen, wouldn't it be ideal for the school systems to start teaching children what they should eat and how they can take better control of their health, and so that they know exactly what they can eat, what they should eat, what they shouldn't eat, and how they should exercise?
Well, that's a good suggestion. The only problem with that is trying to implement it. The school systems are facing, here in California for sure, funding issues, and trying to get them to implement anything, even just more exercise, daily exercise is very, very tough. There's a lot of complaint about that. So at that point, you're dealing with politics and politicians and.
But if we were to teach our children at an early age how to take better care of themselves, wouldn't that decrease the cost of the healthcare system?
Absolutely. But I personally believe it's up to the parents. I think that this is a parent's role. Right now, the parents are overfeeding the kids, and they're stimulating those kids to produce all those extra fat cells with all that fast food. But the parents have to take a different approach. They have to take a look at their own lives and get their own lives in order, and then they'll get the kids on track too.
Hopefully.
Right. One thing I'd like to point out, you mentioned that the Amazon was out of stock.
Yes.
Actually, that is the old version. So if people want to order the book, they should go to dumpyourtrainer.com and just click on the links, and they'll go to the right version.
Excellent. Any more books coming, Doctor?
Well, somebody asked me that the other day. I'm actually in the process of working out a book called Dump You're a Bad Doctor. Yeah, and it's basically, it tells people how to recognize a bad doctor or a doctor who doesn't care about them, the early signs, and once they've done that, to get rid of them.
All right, so you've got Dump Your Trainer. Next is going to be Dump Your Doctor.
Dump Your Bad Doctor.
Dump Your Bad Doctor, and then it's going to be Dump Your Bad Spouse.
Well, I don't know about that. That's not one of my issues.
Doctor, I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. It certainly has been a great pleasure, and I'm sure that the members of the X-Zone Nation have picked up, a couple of great ideas that you've brought to our attention, and I just want to thank you very much for doing that book and for letting people know that there is hope and that they can make a difference in their own life.
Absolutely.
Take care of yourself, sir, and good luck on your next book. We have to have you back on when you finish it.
Thank you.
Good night, sir. Dr. Marc Paulsen, www.dumpyourtrainer.com. DumpyourbadDoctor.com. DumpyourbadSpouse.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news at the top of the hour as the X-Zone continues on the Talkstar Radio Network. When we come back, we'll be speaking to Eric Altman about Bigfoot. Has anyone out there taken their $1 million photo of Bigfoot? We'll be talking to Eric about Bigfoot as well as the East Coast Bigfoot Conference that's coming up on September the 27th in Pennsylvania. 1-877-528-8255 is toll free. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone, live and around the world.